Tonight we have the MQ039 multi-tool. This goes by many different names. It is rebranded to several different companies. This particular one is the Siupro. Let's go ahead and start with the pliers. One of the first things you'll notice is this has a very sandy feeling or sandy sound. So as you work this, you do have sort of the small particles of metal in there. You will have to probably work that out. I feel like I find a lot of times if you work these out over time, it sort of goes away. But that is something you have to deal with. So the pliers don't seem just too bad. They seem to be fairly solid, and then you can cut this jacketed copper wire pretty easily, and that doesn't seem an issue. These are not replaceable wire cutters, but they do seem to work pretty good. And then on this side, essentially the only tool you'll have is the saw and also one other combo tool. So the saw right here, let's go ahead and extend this all the way, and then that does have this lock right there, and then you're able to close that up. And then at the end right here, as is becoming very popular, we now have the whistle and the ferro rod. So then that sits right in here and sort of snaps into place so it doesn't detach from the frame. Now on the other side of the handle is sort of the star of the show, and one of the tools you'll find is the knife, and this is easy to open and also unlock one-handed. So that's pretty easy. It does have the combo blade, the serrations at the bottom. It's got the thumb stud. And then we do have the driver, the Phillips driver, on the next tool over. Now this one is a little bit harder to undo. You may break a couple fingernails, but once you've got it out, it is a little bit, the lock is pretty tough as well, but it does not lock. So what you can do with this is you can use the 1/4-inch adapter, and I have to say this fits probably the best of any multi-tool that has this adapter I've seen. Maybe even better than Leatherman and Gerber. It really fits on there nicely, and then you have a really tough, tough connection right there. It's almost like you have a ball detent, but it's really locked on there. But then the problem is you almost need pliers to take it off. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. I'm going to use some pliers to take this off. And there we go, we got it. But that really fits on there. So while you're using the screwdriver, it's a good thing. But when you need to take it off, it's not so positive. All right, so let's go ahead and collapse this as well. And then the last tool we have on this is the star of the show. So this is the detachable scissors. Now, I forget a lot of times how to do these. I think these go down. So let's go ahead and take out this Phillips driver again. And you can see how that fits right there. So yes, they do go down, and they slide down, and then they detach like so. And then you're able to have a very large pair of scissors outside of the frame. Now these scissors do cut fairly well. They usually cut right through the paracord. I've noticed there's a couple spots where they don't cut as well, but most of the time they will slice right through paracord. I think on the ends it does struggle maybe sometimes. These are fairly thin scissors, but I do like the idea of the detachable scissors. This modular design can make it pretty handy, especially if you don't want to drag a whole multi-tool along. This is a very lightweight option. So I'm actually sort of a fan of that. I think this is definitely the best part of the whole tool. And for some people, this will make it worth spending the $25 or so that it cost. And then you go ahead, and then I have to remember to lift. There we go. And then it snaps into place. It's not extremely easy to snap back in, but it's not rocket science either, but it will take a little bit getting used to. Now you can also use these, well, not with the tool closed, but you can go ahead and open them and use them this way as well. It's just a lot handier just to detach them from the frame. So they are, I would say they're not quite as good as Roxxon or Next Tools that do this, but they are fairly close, slightly inferior. So this is a very cheap multi-tool. Again, it has some outside elements, some survival elements with the whistle and the ferro rod. It's got some elements like the scissors that people will like, and then it's got that bit driver that fits one of the most securely I've seen, so that can be a good and a bad thing. So overall, for $24, $23, $25, depending where you buy this, this can be a fairly good tool if you just want to have an extra one, more like as a backup. But I would not recommend this as a main multi-tool. It does have a sheath, pretty much standard, Velcro, and then the belt loop as well. So there is that as well. All right, it does come again with this bit kit. So this is what you get, and this is the box that it came with. I'll see you in the next video.